And just like that, it's another end of the week and we are doing just fine. Guys, you know what? We are all going to be just fine. So no matter what storms you face during the week, just hold on. And remember that on Friday, you have the ladies and I here to remind you that the storm is over. I almost sang, storm is over now. Yes, we can see the rainbow, and thank God it's Friday. And you know what that means, ladies? It's
Even though blessings look like it's a Monday.
Honestly, I don't know why you're so corporate.
I didn't have a choice. But
no, she didn't.
Lolo, you were thinking storm is over, and then you said it was over, but it didn't seem like that. It looks like you're flying away.
I almost said, I believe I can fly.
Exactly.
I can't sing that song either.
I believe I can touch the sky because...
I can't join you to sing that song.
Okay.
Did they ban
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't.
Kelly.
As much as I want to, I hold myself.
I know.
Yeah.
But today on the show, hey, well, where you singles, me, all the singles watching, we have something special for you today. I know that this 2024 has been a tensioning year for relationships. Vicky James here. Now it's Peter Okopi and Prudence here. Everybody kissing and hugging and We have heard all your crying on social medias. Let the singles breathe. This year is for putting pepper in singles' eye. Please, I'm begging all of you. Stop suffocating the singles. Blah, 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 blah. So, brace yourselves, gather yourselves, because our show today is coming to your rescue.
Is she the only one that needs rescue?
I tell you.
On this table, at least, she's the one that needs help the most. I am an older single. I do not need to fish in the same waters you fish.
You don't need to mingle and pringle.
Not that kind of mingling and pringling.
Whether you're older or I'm younger, you know what we have in common?
What is
We're
it?
single to super.
I have a boyfriend. Do you?
Ooh.
Do you?
Answer the question.
Answer the question now for me.
Let's go on now.
Wow.
I'm very sure your mother will love this conversation.
Honestly,
today.
please cut the except of this show.
Mommy,
My mother
we
gave
want
me
to
2
help
months.
you.
She gave me 2 months, 3 months ago. So
Exactly. So your
Bring
mom
someone home.
is See? Did you go out
was
with
a plan.
someone for drinks the other day? He didn't make it to second date.
No.
Hey, what is going on?
Disqualified.
Wow.
was-
Anyway,
They
today,
say your standard is so high.
your standard
What
is...
happened? Please
It's
wait.
not- it's
Why,
not-
how
I'm-
did he get disqualified?
So I'm going to say this. I'm literally trying to bring myself down to their level. I'm literally on the floor and I'm still not there yet. There's a problem in the dating pool that
What's
needs
the
to be
problem?
rectified. I don't know, a lot of... So I can be very picky, but I don't think I'm the problem.
Wow.
I just feel like a lot of people do not understand common,
Etiquette.
that we'll get to that because someone is
Anyway,
going to teach
so
us.
we have done everything in our power to help you out.
No, you haven't. You
Our
haven't.
guest today is someone who works with single Pringles like you. Single to stupor, single with high standard, single I don't want to marry, single no man is available.
But
All
wait, do you
this-
want to get married? I think that's a valid question first. There are people who are very okay with long-term monogamous relationships that are not marriage.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to be in a relationship.
Mommy, we need to do night vigil. You can't
So that marriage,
Something has happened.
That marriage, where we get there, I'm indifferent right now.
Hey.
At least as a last year, I wasn't going to get married. But right now, it's like, I'm fine if I don't. I think I'm okay if I do. Please don't let my mother see this.
It's too late, blessings.
Mommy, there are some mountains that I can recommend to you in some specific places in Nigeria.
Yes, God.
Ogbomoso, all those places. Okay.
Trust me,
They
yes, God.
When they bring prayer water, we pour it in your bathing water, pour it in your drinking water. They don't burn you. Who are you?
The team behind the scenes means you today. They say, Mommy should take your picture and 7 candles
Yes,
and go and pray for you.
It
It won't work until one of them catches you.
won't work.
No, let me tell you guys. No, seriously, you feel like, man, Mr. B, you did wrong thing. it now became a situation of if I didn't talk to him in a day, it felt like something was wrong.
And funny enough, that's the thing.
But
So
you
I'm
did
not
enjoy
always...
Mr. B's
Oh,
courtship.
no,
No,
I-
we
Yeah.
were there to see it.
You see,
it was
they enjoyed me.
No, it was fun. So they were always going out.
So that's why I for single people that are always saying, "Oh, I don't think I'll ever get married." That's why I'm not always very like dogged about it, because probably
Somebody
it's because
can
I've not
come,
met that
yes, and
person.
change
But
your-
right now, it's like all of
You know,
them.
I had lunch with Kate and a friend yesterday, and the same situation, man. I'll tell you guys, I don't envy my friends that
are
are
single.
in the single streets right now.
Honestly.
I don't envy you guys. I want to say I don't envy you guys looking at her, but she's
No,
not even
no,
in
no,
the
no,
streets.
you're not this one.
I want to put a foot outside.
But I
you
think
know?
for me, singles have grades. I'm single, but I wouldn't consider myself the kind of single you are.
What kind of single am I?
So if it's about pools, we're not fishing in the same
God have
waters.
mercy.
There's billionaire gang.
Lolo.
I'm liking.
But I'm the
not single
billionaire,
again.
so I fish.
You go fish. And you reel them in.
You see, so I'm working my way towards that billionaire status so that I
So
can
that you
fish.
can
as
fish.
well. But I feel like
But let
I'll
me
be-
tell you guys one thing. All this, you know, everybody's attention by the weddings. Let me tell you, even married couples are attention by the wedding. I know some people are saying they must renew their vows so that they can have
that's true.
this
That
kind of
experience.
Sometimes
That's
I
true.
just tell them, like, oh, God, you know, we can do you see,
No.
X.
No, for
We're
me,
not spending money on that.
I would rather take a holiday in exotic places than have a loud, lavish wedding. any day.
Sometimes you can't avoid it, depending on the families that
yeah.
are involved.
So far, it's not my money, Tolu. It's
That's the
okay.
point.
It's fine.
That's the
I would
point.
just, you think I don't know how to have a wedding floating in space?
Coming down from
No,
a
but
cloud.
but
we can
shouldn't
do all
the
that.
couple's opinion matter? If I want a low-key wedding, I don't care which
No,
family
if
you're
they're
coming
billionaires
from.
and they're spending their money.
So it depends on the family you're marrying into, and then it can also depend on your own family's support for your decision. Sometimes, see, in the African context, a lot of the times weddings are not about us, but it's changing. Couples are able to put more, and because people are waiting a bit longer to get married, their money is more into the wedding, so
True.
it's not just
Exactly.
dependent on who's
the
financing
parents,
the wedding.
yeah.
But it's still a give and take, because you know, a celebration, a marriage is a celebration in our
And
society.
Africans, Nigerians, were
Yeah.
particularly loud and flamboyant by nature.
I think my party me.
Ṣé irú ẹ̀ ń sin òfẹ́kin wé gèlè wa wé?
The girl will go from here to here.
My
blessings.
gèlè mini dress.
No,
from your
Jasiri that
engagement.
day will be live at your engagement.
I feel
What
like
did
you
she
people will
say?
testify.
Your rich aunties come out.
Testimony.
And that guy that's always
Finally,
singing. Ṣé lè náwó yẹn tán? There will be one put big box in front of you. Ṣé lè náwó yẹn tán?
Hey, the dobale, it will be like 50 times.
Your husband had better bring it.
anyway, so let's move the light away from my singleness, so that my mother will not, I don't want her visiting the hospital this month. But then, I mean, the ladies are right. It's a special kind of show today, and our phone lines would also be open for you to join the conversation. So grab yourself a popcorn because it's about to get down. Call somebody you love. Tell your neighbors. Tell your landlord if you're not Oino. Call your husband. They might learn one or two. Call your friends. Tell them that it's time for Jasiri to show you something that you probably don't know. Yes, that award-winning talk show. I barely said it right here on News Central. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the show. Please join the conversation via our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. Now get ready to also exercise your fingers by also calling us via the number that you're going to see on the screen. There's a lot of excitement, not just because it's Friday, but it's also because I'm here to save people's dating lives. I want their lives to do a 180 blessings. So I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but she caught this up. She's holding it in. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, not of all ages this time, because this might just be PG-13, this is our Hot Topics special guest.
Man who said, you know what, I'm going to change the dating game, the dating culture in Lagos. I'm going to take things up a notch. Dare Olatoye is here, a professional and private matchmaker. Please welcome to Jasiri.
Thank you very much.
And welcome back, because I keep saying that, Jasiri has had like 4 or 5 reincarnations, iterations with the last iteration, but it's always good to be able to say people are welcome and they're willing to even come back. So that means you had a good time the first time.
Yes, I did have a
You
good
have a
time.
And
better
for a
time. this time.
matchmaker, it's kind of calm.
What is it supposed to be like?
Well, that's the
I like
idea.
the aura, like balanced. Most matchmakers I've seen or watched abroad, they always have this wild thing about them, like eagle eye.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, they're always like, well, I've seen females. They just have this forceful thing about them that scares
Really?
someone like me.
Because for me, they usually have this private investigator aura, and I think that's what he has.
Yes, he has a calm.
I like that. I like that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So because Catherine is not here, Lolo is supposed to do it, but I think Lolo is already thinking of how she wants to see if your services will be of use to her. We need to ask the question that we ask. How are you?
Yeah.
Please wait. How are you really? Because
Really?
we're all in this Nigeria
This
together.
Nigeria.
I'm fine. I mean, I'm trying to survive in Lagos, you know. And there are a lot of things going on, especially fuel scarcity, a lot of things going on. But like I always tell people, I'm a Christian. I always tell people that as long as God provides for us, whatever situation we're in the country, God should always elevate us beyond the situation of this country. So
Yeah. You mentioned Phil Scarcity.
Economy of
Cues are back.
heaven gang.
Yeah. Let's go. All right, it's over to me. All right, gang. So let's keep the train moving. Our phone number is on the screen. So as much as you can, please feel free to call and be part of the show. And today is not just a day to call and complain about Nigeria, because even our president
Has gone on break.
is on leave. Okay? So please let us be on leave from Nigeria's main issues just for 1 hour, just for about 15 minutes. Just, let's just talk about other people's problems. So Dare, before we get into our hot topics, I want to get your opinion on a conversation we had earlier this week. I think it might be just up your alley, given what you might see on the Lagos dating scene.
Okay.
And we'll go straight to that, because this guy tweeted about the fact that he wants a wife like his mother. Basically saying that when he was young, his mom would come home from work and she would get straight in the kitchen. Growing up, my mom got off work and cooked dinner every night, unless it was a late night from church or one of us decided to cook. I want my wife to do the same for our children. There were reactions. But I'll start my question with you off of the fact that when people come to you to say, I'm looking for something, especially Lagos men, what are they looking for?
I think they're looking for security. I mean,
Financial security.
I won't say security. Like they don't want someone to be a burden. They always want ladies to have what they're doing.
Okay.
I mean that's basically what they always tell me. Okay, they want someone at least that has a job, but maybe not a 9 to 5, but something that's bringing like passive income for them, so they won't be overly reliant on them. So that's majorly what they ask for.
But I think that, I find that a bit weird, because a lot of men will say they want a woman that has something she's doing. And when she brings that something she's doing, it becomes a problem for the man to handle sometimes.
It all depends on the personality traits. There's some men that want to be controlling and they don't want you to spend your money. They want to control your life. They want to control every aspect of what you do. So they'll rather give you money. They'll actually put you on a salary. And those are men that feel that they're very controlling. But there's some men that will understand that, okay, they want their wives or their girlfriends to be able to express themselves wherever they are and give them that independence to be able to express themselves. You can't be trapped in a cage. You can't keep a plant you don't intend to prune or water when you know to die. So you need to let it blossom. So there's some men like that always want their wives to express themselves.
But have you experienced some of these men?
Oh yes, I have.
The very controlling ones?
Yes, the very controlling ones, and really and truly, I'm a very blunt matchmaker. And for people that I feel that would be very difficult for me to match, I don't even onboard them because I feel
So you reject people?
I reject people,
Male and female?
male and female, because some people are set in their ways, and the reason why maybe some of them are single is because of their mindset and the things, the way they do the things. Especially this man has said his mom used to cook for him.
Yeah.
People are set in their ways, but I always tell people that relationship is a convergence of two histories. You have your own history, you have your own background. The other lady or the other man has his own history or history. But it's just being able to complement each other as a couple that matters the most. So you should understand that you going into a relationship, you know that you're going to have to adjust, to your wife's situation and vice versa too.
So this guy paints a picture of wanting a wife that is traditional, not just traditional, but that still works. His mother worked and she came home and she still cooked. And then maybe once or twice they would have mercy on her and decide. I just, decided when one of us decided to cook. And I'm just thinking about the fact that many of us realize that one income is not enough for many households now. But you're also expecting a woman who does a full-time job with you to also then be the full-time
Caregiver in the
house
house.
manager, which is a whole nother full-time. Like, I don't think people understand what it means to sit down and create a menu for a house and try to keep things fresh and rotating. Then
Yes,
spend your
indeed.
weekend making sure that you're prepping and planning. The house is clean, shoes
Yes.
are ready, clothes are washed. The mental burden of it all. And I think too many men saw their fathers have it good and easy and they want to
Yeah.
replicate that. But it's not working in the 21st century. So do you have clients sometimes who are asking for these traditional, what seem to be like more traditional requirements?
Yes, and are there women that want to fit into this
Yes,
particular
let me stay home and he
Well,
does everything.
there's a woman that want to fit into it, you know, and I always tell this man, if you want to get it, just get a chef. Get someone that will cook and do all that.
They
for
can't
you.
sleep with the chef, Dari.
Oh yeah, I mean you can get a chef, but you don't have to marry a camel. You want it to do or want her to do everything
still
for you.
burdened.
You know, but it's always like, for instance, for me, I always know how to manage relationship in terms of knowing when your wife is tired and when you need to put in, you need to work. You know, I cook a lot myself. I make up one and do everything, and you know, my wife knows how to cook other things. So it's being able to understand how your wife is feeling, how your partner is feeling, and being able to come in and do the things you need to do as a man. So for the man that's looking for especially this day and age, the world has evolved. We can't do the things that our parents used to do way back.
Yeah.
Because life was much more different then. You know, most of our parents like our moms used to be at home. They'll take care of the children while the men would used to go out and work. But like, the world has evolved. Economy has changed.
Absolutely.
Things are much more expensive. And now you need to have two people bringing in.
Literally takes two
Yeah,
now.
two people bringing income into the family. So if your wife is also working, you should also have that, you know, empathy that, okay, she's going to be working, so she's going to be tired. So what can I do to fill in that position or fill in that place? To just give her less burden and less stress.
Absolutely.
Just to cause less friction in the relationship.
Wow.
Let's take some reactions because there were different reactions to this when it
Yeah.
trended during the week, and it'd be great to see some of those reactions. We have Sisi Yemi, food blogger, and congratulations, who just had twins, I think a few
yes.
months ago. She said, "Did you ever ask your mom how she felt about cooking?" And I think sometimes that puts a spotlight on the women themselves not sharing how they felt.
no.
Somebody says, there's nothing wrong in cooking every day. I cook every day, rice, beans, whatever. Nothing forbidding in making fresh meal for your husband and children. That's somebody's reply. Then somebody else says, men want to overwork their wives and then complain when there's a dead bedroom and use it as a scapegoat to cheat. Clinical insanity. Wow, 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 woo.
Wow.
The film producer, Jade Oshibere, says that so many conversations on the timeline, from the Falanas versus the non-entity I will not name, to women versus men's labor at home and the things fall apart adaptation. One thing is consistent: we have a grave critical thinking problem in this country.
Ha. Why do you still act like women are not working in 2024?
And that's continuation
Yes,
from
the
Sisi Yemi.
continuation from. But do you actually, somebody else on the school of thought that in a couple of more years, there will be nothing like marriage, because people seem to be deviating from the traditional idea of marriage. Because then marriage was like a covenant between two people. But now it's basically transactional.
Well, what I always say is that I think a lot of bad news spreads more than the good news. So it's bad news is more amplified on social media. You hear a lot of divorce, breakups, all that.
Yeah.
But I always tell people that there's so many marriages that there are a lot of people have been married for years, decades, and they've been happily married, regardless of the differences, regardless of their tribes or anything. So for me, I feel that marriage will still work in a couple of years. But my hope is that we have less negativity, projected in the public, because it's now giving people a sense of, a thought of saying, okay, marriage might not work, marriage is not good. Well, why don't the people that have good marriages just project those positive things out there? Because there's so many people that have been married.
They'll say you're lying.
So the thing is, speaking for a generation that is seeing what is happening in marriages, right? A lot of people will say that I envy those who have been married for years, because now guys will say, oh, they're scared to ask a lady out because the lady will build them. But the same guys are asking every single lady, what do you bring to the table? So just like Lolo said, if that's now the question, right, it's now giving women the awareness that, okay, if this guy is asking me what I bring, my question should be, what do I gain from getting married to you? Because, okay, fine, let's say that I've answered what I bring to the table. What does marrying you give me? I get to your house, I start cooking, or I'm working, I'm making my money. Why are you in my life at the end of the day? That's why there's a possibility that most ladies would not even want to get married, because honestly, I don't even see the point.
Well, for me, I feel that there, I feel that there's so many reasons why you should get married. You know, companionship first of all, and also having a family. You know, raising kids.
In Korea now, they pay people to go on dates.
I know.
I read that
I know,
yesterday.
But do you know
raising
why?
kids.
For companionship.
No, not just, sorry, you answered. The reason South Korea's birth rates have plummeted. Why have they plummeted? Women say they're
Women
not
are
getting
saying
married
yes.
and they're
They're
not
having
having
children.
kids because the society does not support. It is a very difficult society for you to marry, be a wife, a mother in. And they said, so what? They're not doing. Their birth rates have literally plummeted
Yeah.
because women are on strike in South Korea. Okay, finish your answer.
Well, that's the other part of the world, you know, and there are a lot of things. Maybe the situation in the country has made it happen that way.
Yeah.
But what I always say is that, you know, for you being a single lady or you being a single guy, there's always, I mean, even in the Bible it says that one shall kill 1,000, 10,000 in terms of coming together and forming something really good. So I feel that even coming together as a family, we'll be able to create a lot of things, you know. And like I said, you know, it's not about you being dependent on you saying, what do I want to get from this relationship? It's just how do you want to complement each other as a couple, and not losing your essence in the process while being in a relationship with someone.
Okay, it doesn't get any hotter than fine woman and a fine man. Lights, cameras, and some bubbly, you know, and some
your voice
glasses. Yeah.
Bedroom voice.
Action. Oh, sorry. I'm just kidding, guys. My producer actually told me I had to say that as sexily as I could. And that wasn't my best sexy, but hey, we will pass. Anyway, let's take some more hot topics. So I saw this interesting post on the Love Doctor's IG, and I thought to share. This lady says she thinks her friend's husband is sleeping with her 24-year-old maid, and she doesn't know if she should tell her friend. It doesn't end there. She says the maid is now starting to be a bit rude to her and has about 315,000 in her account, and her husband is acting strange. Anyway, this is some of the story she shared. I wanted to read it from the very beginning, but could you go back to the first slide? Hi, this is about my friend's husband. I'm worried that my husband is involved somehow too. My house girl has been staying with us for about 4 years now. She's beautiful, hardworking. She's a 24-year-old now. I noticed a change in her behavior. She started getting a bit rude, started wearing nice things. Her salary nice things a salary can't afford. I sent her to school. I thought maybe she has a boyfriend in school. I was coming from work one day. I saw her coming from my friend's husband's car. She was laughing. He was laughing too. The surprising thing is she doesn't act like she knows him. She acts shy when he's around. I dodged my face. Later, I started to watch her. Home video. Go on. Let's move. Next slide. Coming from my friend's husband's car, she was like, okay.
They were laughing together.
They were laughing. She acts shy. Okay. She deletes all her charts. Later, I started to watch her. She deletes all her charts and all her accounts balance. I transferred 1K to her account so I can see the balance. I saw 315K there. I was shocked. I opened account for her so that she can be helping buy stuff. I told my husband and he said he would talk to his friend. He was not so angry or even surprised. Are you sure this is not circumstantial?
Communal farming.
Yeah. You know, I'm wondering, what do you think about it, Dare? Is this something?
Are they in it together?
Are they in it
That's why I
together?
like
Because there's something called gentleman's code.
No,
They
boys
cover
code,
each
yes,
other.
Of course.
Boys code, yes.
First of all, you sack. So is it this a wife's friend
Yes,
that notes
her
that?
maid, yeah.
Well, I don't think the wife's friend should tell the wife. The wife's friend should approach the husband and tell the husband to say that.
So the problem is the friend is thinking her own husband is
So
in
he's
on it
involved.
too.
Because when
he
she brought it up
acts
to him,
surprised.
the way he should have
Surprised.
just
Of
dismissed
course,
it and said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll just
you know,
talk to
some
him."
guys have this bro code thing.
Yeah.
So definitely the husband would support his friend.
How?
They probably have the same kind of bad habit, but
They
different
have the
ways.
same bad habits.
So either they might be sleeping with the same maid, or he might be sleeping with the
Another
friend's
maid.
husband. Come
No, they
on.
might just have, you know, when you have something on someone, maybe he knows one of the side slices.
But I think the best option is for the lady to go tell the husband and say, I see what's going on, and
To tell her, to confront her friend's husband.
A friend's husband, not the friend, but the friend's husband, and tell the husband that, okay, do you know what? I see what's going on. I don't want to report to your wife because it's not my business, but try and stay clear and sack the maid, get the maid out of the house, and don't continue with this. Because at the end of the day, if you tell the wife and it becomes an issue, you don't want to be
in the middle of
that.
What if the wife even knows and she's just comfortable with it?
I was even going to say, why tell the guy and the guy just situates the girl in a nice apartment and a full-blown mistress is born?
So the thing is, at that point, she's not the one responsible for that. But we'll take some reactions when we come back to this, because I think it's interesting when we say, let her approach the husband, the friend's husband. But if you're going to do that, make sure you have evidence so that when something kasala busts in the future, there's evidence to show that it's not because some men, they'll go to the wife and start mouthing the friend, so that anything that happens, you won't want to believe what your friend is telling you. It's a game. They say it's broken. Let's go for a break. We'll be right back. And of course, you are tuned into Jasiri on a Hot Topic Special Friday. And right before the break, we were talking about a situation a woman finds herself in which she suspects that her friend's husband is sleeping with her own housemaid. She found some $350,000 naira in the nanny's or the housemaid's account. But she also other people might be sending her money. She can't assume all that money is coming from the guy. And the girl might be very good at saving, because it feels funny to assume certain things. But anyway, she has approached her husband to talk to his friend. The husband said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And Dare is telling us, it's bro code. He may not want to anything, something. Dare, I don't like it. Because bro code can be a problem.
It can be a problem, yes.
It can be a very, very big problem. So I personally think the lady should make sure she has her evidence. I agree with you. She should confront the friend's husband and tell him to cut it all off. She can keep the housemaid for a while because that allows her to continue to see. But Lolo is suspicious that if she keeps the housemaid, or she fires her, the guy will go and set her up somewhere else, and it's a full-blown affair. But we have a phone call now. Let's go to the phone lines. Hi, good morning. I believe it's Akin, right? Yes, Akin calling from Lagos. Join the conversation.
My name is Akin.
Hello, Akin. Go ahead.
Yes, Akin from Igodo.
All right, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, I have a story to tell too. Some years back, my wife, she was a nurse, and we have an housemaid. Anytime my wife is on night duty, and I'm about to go and sleep, my housemaid will pretend that I think she wants to go and take her bath, and she will just be naked. She will be watching me when I'm about going to my room. So she will just pretend as if she's going to take her bath, naked. And I told her that anytime I see you like this again, I'm going to beat the hell out of you with Koboko. Later, she went and told some people that this man is too strong. I've tried him 4 times, but he did not succumb. Later, after she has gone, and I told my wife was saying, if you have told me, I would have done with her. I said, I don't need to tell you. What I'm supposed to do as a man, I have done it.
Taki, you are a dinosaur.
It's a great man.
He's an extinct species that is able to resist uncladness.
Wow. So there's a flip side to this kind of housemaid conversation.
Honestly, this kind of Mr. Akin, honestly, I would have thought I read about the type in books. Because your wife is on night duty, and this is a voluped, ready for the PK. And he was able to say, no, I'll koboko you. He's like, when you're watching home video, Mr. Dare, you're pouring into my soul. Why?
Funny enough, this happened to me years ago when I was a bachelor. I had a female chef, and she was always doing the same thing. So she would leave earrings today, leave necklace tomorrow after work. So I wonder one day, like, come on, please. Pack your load. Don't be putting your things in the house.
No, so that any woman he's dating, when they come to the house,
they will see
another woman's presence.
And we understand that some of these people do, some of these maids, I'm not saying all of them, do it intentionally. Like, that's their plan. In fact, that's the plan A. Working there as a maid is plan B. Plan A is try and seduce the boss. Because they don't mind kicking another woman out of her own house.
Yeah.
Man.
Why not?
There's a lot of conversation on that.
There's-
All right, we have something planned with Dare, so we need to keep things moving so we can get to our
Yes.
masterclass, our brief masterclass in dating. Blessings has agreed to be our guinea pig.
Yes.
All right, so this last one, before we go to that, this is definitely a Hot Topics Friday, but I like this story because in the case of what you do, there's a lot of looking at people's characters and trying to be sure of what they present versus what the reality is. So an ex-user, Uzo Njoku, says she's in a dilemma. She posted that she has a sweet and perfect gentleman giving her all the feelings, the attention, and treating her right. But, and there's always a but, and I don't know why there's always a but. You know what? They said curiosity killed the cat, and in this situation, she might have just killed the cat. So she went snooping on his ex page and found his previous retweets, and they were all about putting a woman in her place, wanting a submissive and traditional woman. And she believes that she does not fit that bill at all. And now she's left wondering, who is the real him? The person she's gone on dates with, or the person who's retweeting and tweeting these kind of things about how he feels the status of women is. And she says she's an independent woman, and when she's told him that she's independent and everything, he's always been like, yes, that's what I want. But then she sees him retweeting, women should stay in their place, should be in the bath. I said bathroom. Should be in the kitchen and the bedroom. When you're matchmaking and people are coming, how do you separate what people present from what people
really
are?
Because I have extensive conversations with them. I always tell people you can't lie for long, especially when you're having like a long conversation. So when I have like consultations with people for like 1 hour or 2 hours.
Is that enough?
Not enough, but we have those kind of conversations consistently. But for someone like me, I always read a lot of body language and how you respond to some certain questions. So I'll be able to know the kind of person you are. But if it's one thing I always do is that, and it's one thing I stand for, they know I stand for, is that come clean, just let me know who you are as a person. Because you have a certain ideology, doesn't mean that somebody won't like you for who you are. Yeah. So for this guy that came out to retweet all those things he did, or he wanted, like he supposedly wanted to do, there are other people that will be open to dating him regardless of it. But maybe it's not her own cup of tea. But I always say she shouldn't settle for that kind of guy if she has it, or maybe she should take a bit of time to get to know him more before she makes certain decisions or settling down with him. Because that's when he'll be able to reveal himself. You can never hide for a long time. You would always slip. And
it's actually what she said will get her. She did some few more tweets, and she of course did say that she doesn't have a problem with what he wants. So it's just not her, and it's not for her. The last one says, before I meet, there's nothing wrong with tweeting about what you like. However, I am not that. He should go and face that. Let me tell you, independent women appeal to a lot of men. I had this conversation with my husband just a few days ago. Independent women actually appeal to a lot of men. But the reality of being with an independent woman is not what a lot of men can actually deal with. Somebody who's not afraid to share her thoughts, to share her opinions. And I think more men should be open and honest with what they want. Somebody quoted a part of Trevor Noah's book. And I always remember that part where it says that there are a lot of men who go and look for the birds, the independent women who fly, and then they want to cage them. Yeah. You want to clip their wings. Because, this independent thing, it looked good from afar, but now that it's in front of you, you're feeling challenged as a man.
But do you know why? Because they don't want to have conversations. For an independent woman, she already knows what she wants.
Absolutely.
So when I say people are opinionated, it's not a bad thing for you to be opinionated as a woman. But for you as a man, you don't want your woman to be able to express herself, and you also want to be domineering. So even regardless of the fact that you're doing well financially, which men want, and you're, self-reliant, they still want to always have that say over you. Well, I always say that men, well, not all the men,
not all, yeah.
But if you're open-minded as a man, you would allow your woman to express herself regardless of her status in society.
Wow. I wish we could have a longer conversation, but, we have to get to this special part of the show. We have to go on another break now because we have bills to pay. And, of course, I actually wanted to sing this Bruno Mars song.
I love sing with you and songs.
Forget that.
Friday.
It's Friday. Sing the song now.
You don't know it. It's only praise and worship in Yoruba,
What you doing?
Where you at?
Oh, you got plans.
Oh, don't say that.
This part.
I'm saving
They take us on a break.
They try want to disgrace me.
This choir has failed.
Oh, so there's no trauma Jesus in all this.
You're still watching Jasiri, and we're about to get into something interesting we've never done before. But just before that, our guest had a very special request about a story we took recent. Did we? I don't think we ever got to that story.
Gotten to it.
And I'll just quickly run you through it because Dare and Blessings have left the table. But they're at a different type of table. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's this? Style Plus, table for two. Oh, we have a table for two things happening. But very quickly, so there's a story that we've been holding on to. A single mother of three, actually a widowed mother of three who lost her husband. She remarries a single man. And he says, fantastic, he's ready to take on fathering the three kids. And they've done that. Then they have their own child, making it 4. But she had complications from that pregnancy. And she says she doesn't want to have another child by herself, and she's willing to do IVF. The man has said no to the IVF, and instead he's saying that she should give him permission to go and sleep with a woman and have a child the natural way. Dare, you said you wanted to say 1 or 2 things about this.
Oh yeah. So first of all, when you marry someone, it's a commitment, right?
Yes.
And you can give an example of what happened in the Bible when Abraham got married to Sarah,
Yeah.
and she didn't have Isaac.
Yeah.
So he went out to be with Hagar, and I had Ishmael. And you can see what's happening now with what's happening in the Middle East. Israel now, they're fighting Palestinians, and they're all descendants of Ishmael and Isaac. So that's just to show that, it's very wrong. I think it's very inappropriate to say you want to go outside to have a kid or to have a child,
And the challenge is, it's not like they don't have a child. They have 1 child, and she had 4. She had 3 before.
Yeah.
So she's had 4 children. So
And she's willing to pay for the IVF, and even his family supports her. So nobody understands where this let me go outside. And people are suspicious now that he may actually have a mistress or there's somebody he's eyeing.
Yeah.
And then this assumption, it's not a lot of people will sleep together the first time and get pregnant.
Of course.
It's not a Nollywood movie. It's not a Hollywood movie.
Yes, that will just be one hit
How long
wonder.
does he even want this to go on for? Those are the kind of questions
But
that are going through my
if you
mind.
flip the script, and if it's not the one that can have the child, if it shoots blanks down, and the woman says that she wants to let me go outside, how would you feel? So it's good for people to understand that. What if the table turns now? How would you feel if you're in that position? And how would you want to be treated? So it's very good to understand that it's when you're getting married, it's a covenant that you both have.
Absolutely.
And it's for better or for worse, regardless of what happens, for richer, for poorer. And anything that happens, I feel that
Well, they're now editing the words, so...
Exactly. I was going to say that.
editing the words, yeah.
For better, for better, for richer, for richer.
What they should both understand is that it's something that they should both seek maybe counseling and try and resolve this issue. But going out to say you want to have a child for another woman is really wrong.
Me, as far as he's talking about this going for counseling, I think it's already a done deal in his heart, because for him to suggest it,
to speak it out.
so trust me, if careful investigation is done, there is a side slice somewhere already.
All right, so we set you up for a table for 2 because we are with a private and, of course, a professional matchmaker. Blessings, you owe me. I'm doing this one for you.
It's
so
time
we
to
want
learn.
to see, first date etiquette. What are the things that we should and should not we, that people should and should not do? And, of course, maybe some red flags, yellow flags, or even green flags to look out for. So we're handing it over to Blessings and Dare, and we're watching with rapt attention. Go ahead.
I'm following your lead because I'm learning.
Okay, so the man starts with popping the champagne and filling your glass with champagne.
Filling my own glass, so not giving me the bottle to fill.
No, filling your glass with champagne.
Well, okay, so there's a thing about some women that just want to, they're impatient, they want to make the first move. Just pour my thing myself and, oh, hi, how are you,
Well, if they want, it's going to be a bit awkward though. But I always tell people, it's good to. I think sometimes the best dates are dates that are not so planned. Like when you sit down with someone, the best dates are dates that you don't really plan. But as long as it's spontaneous, it's also giving you the sense, it's giving the guy the sense that you're willing to be open and to be very expressive. It gives me that kind of sense of originality when it comes to you. So it's good to be expressive.
It's very direct.
Guys, so my thing is, it's a nice setting. A lot of dates happen, nice setting. Everybody wears good clothes and everything. But that first impression often is what sweeps, I would say, many women away. And they don't wait to see, one, if this thing is consistent.
Consistent.
And then, you know, I think one of the times we've talked about love bombing, that there are guys who are really, not just guys, that people are really good at giving you all this love and attention, and you get swept up, and then they know how to remove it, and it becomes this game of manipulation. How much weight should people really put into first dates?
Well, definitely don't come late to the date. You know, I had, like even yesterday, I had like a complaint of someone saying that the person came late for the date, and that was a total turn off for them. So never go late. And even if you're 5 minutes or 10 minutes earlier, you should be there before the set time. You should, you know, because it sets the mood differently if the person has to wait for the other party. So the first thing you need to do is just come early for your date. And the second thing is also be, like I said, come as yourself, be expressive. And I know, like you said, but you know there's one thing that happens and people don't understand. You know, sometimes when people go on the first few dates, the men act like gentlemen, but when they start dating, it now becomes very different.
Exactly.
So the thing, and that's why I'm sticking to being yourself, and you know, but not be an irritant. Don't be an irritant.
So for me, there's always a tell, right? Because I went on a date once, and it's not about, for me, it's not about what you say or what how are you doing. It's more of what I see you do.
Yeah.
When I'm even with friends, not even on a date, I'm not with my phone, as much as I love to be on social media. But when I'm on a date and a guy is like, oh, sorry, just, oh, excuse me, sorry. That's already a turn off for me.
It's a turn off, it's a red flag. And, you know, because the lady will be asking questions, because I have things to do myself, and I could have been on my phone too.
Exactly.
So why are you on your phone? Is it that I'm not as important as you think as I think you think I am? So it's very important that, you know, you don't have distractions, definitely. And number one distraction is a phone. You need to just put that aside when it comes to the first date.
You know, Dare, I wanted to ask you, because a lot of people put credence to women that, okay, yes, you're the one taking that is being taken out on a date. But sometimes a guy too has, you know, the things that they need to look for, because we have to balance this equation. Are there questions that a guy should be asking too? Or are there, about this rule of what is too much?
On the first date.
On the first date.
Yes. Who are your parents? How much do you make? What school did you go to? Like, what are those questions that may be acceptable on the first date?
On the first date.
I think, first of all, don't even talk about where she works. You can talk about what she does, but don't talk about where she works. You need to ask those kind of questions, because it now starts giving the girl or the lady or vice versa a certain vibe. But the kind of question you need to ask her about herself, what she likes doing, you know, what she like. Does she like traveling? Does she like, what are the things she doesn't like doing? Just try to ask her questions for her to talk more about herself, not what she does as work. But I think the first thing is I'd never even talk about where she works. You know?
Okay, so here's the problem for me. Again, I've said it that I can be very picky, right? Because I've answered this question over and over again. Who are you? Where do you live? Who are you? Like, I'm exhausted. So I'm sitting there, what do you do? I'm a journalist. So already I'm giving off this vibe of, I'm tired, can we just move to something else? And that will make it seem like the conversation is awkward. And at the end of the day, either the guy concludes that she's boring or I conclude that he's boring. What's the solution to that? Because I'm not going to sit for like 30 minutes talking about something I've talked about with 5 other guys. And
it's different things you can talk about. Your deal breakers, there are a lot of things you can talk about. Your deal breakers, I mean, what's the best holiday destination you've been to? What's special about the place you went to? Was it Singapore? Have you been to Singapore before? Man, this place is really nice. Have you been to South Africa before? There are a lot of things. But you know the thing that you need to understand, you need to be able to figure out what the person likes. Like, for instance, now, when my wife and I met, I was a bit quiet. But when she asked me about my job, I can talk for 1 hour. And she understood my interest. So there's some things you ask me that I might not be interested in, maybe politics, I'm not really interested in it. So it's the same way the person should be able to understand what you like. Okay, what do you like doing? If it's cooking or that, okay, so what do you like about pasta? What do you like about this? And you can talk, you'll see that the person will be more expressive if they have interest in that topic. So it's you trying to find out the topic that the person likes.
Dare, move to red flags.
Because we need to do that. So is it possible to see red flags on a first date? And what should any party be looking out for when it comes to, if we're going to go from red to yellow to green?
They're red flags though. Especially, let me tell you, the ones men run away from. When you see the menu and you pick out the most expensive thing in the menu. Maybe tomahawk at 60K per plate, and this, that, and the woman expects you to pay for everything. And she takes the most expensive things, you know. So that's what men, because a lot of men tell me that, Daria, I don't think I'm going for a date anymore. I spent so much money in the last 2 months on dates.
So that brings me to the question of who is paying for the date? Because there's some women that go with the mindset of, okay, I'm picking the expensive thing because I believe that we'll split it, or I will pay for what I eat. There's still some people who do not believe that men should entirely pay for the date. So if for example, if my disposition is if I eat, I pay, and it's just like the normal me, and I'm not thinking of what you're thinking, I'm just like, okay, this is what I feel like eating and I can afford it. All right, let's go for that. And in your mind, you're thinking, this one wants to wreck me. So is it that they will have to start off by saying, okay, I'm paying for it, or we're splitting it so that we'll know where we at?
I feel that, first of all, if you want to go for a date, if you're the one that, like for instance, if I invite you for a date, I should be the one that should foot the bills, because I invited you to go out for lunch, you know, and if I invited you to go out for lunch, it should be wise enough for you to pick a spot that you feel that is not overly expensive. And you can be there, a spot that you can afford. So regardless of what you orders, you can still pay for it. But I always say that if a man invites a lady for a date, he should be the one that should pay the bills.
He's a case closed. He's a case closed on that matter.
Honestly, we should have more time.
But I hope as your relationship develops, there's a situation where, of course, you both are doing for each other, which is what really foundations of good relationships are built on. Dare, so thank you so much for that. I love the setup. And this is what we like to do on Jasiri. Just have something different. Fun. Did you people remember your president in this past 15 minutes?
He's on leave.
He's on leave. And we're also about to take a leave as well because we're super excited for the weekend. Dare, thank you so much. And it was a pleasure hosting you. And welcome to the new iteration of Jasiri, the award-winning Jasiri.
Award-winning.
You know? And viewers, thank you so much for always showing up for us, for dropping your comments, for keeping our Instagram popping. Our Instagram continues to pop as it is right now, and that's because of you. You guys are the reason we do what we do. Thank you to our wonderful guests all this week. Fantastic conversations, and we're going to do it all over again, 10 a.m. West African time, starting on Monday. And most especially, thank you to our behind-the-scenes team who make all this possible, because it does take a village. You guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Peace.